Randy McKee here with Soccer 605. I'm here with Coach Dave Kuhl with the Brookings Bobcats. Boys, Coach, thanks for spending some time with us today.
Hey, how you doing, Randy?
Good. You know, I'm kind of glad I'm not one of these guys that's having to make cuts in teams right now because we're seeing a lot of agony around the state. You know, this is always my most unfavorite day of the year, Friday of tryouts.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough this year. I mean, we're fortunate enough in town to have no cut policy, so we just take everybody, which I think is almost a little worse because we end up with too many players. This year we decided if we ended up with too many players, we'd have designated players that would just be practice-only players and stuff like that. So, I mean, this year it worked out. We only had about 36 players. So. Well,
there's nothing wrong with having those practice-only guys. You know, they need the work just as much as anybody else.
Yeah, they do. You know, a lot of times, you know, it really is. You know, sometimes it's your freshmen coming in that just need more field work, and you know, they're not acclimated to the high school side of the speed. You know, playing clubs sometimes and stuff like that. There's a different play, you know, different style of play. You know, if you're being coached by a different coach or whatnot. So. You know, it's not too bad. Our freshman classes, I think we got about 11, which isn't so bad. I mean, that's a nice number to have.
So what are you looking at for upperclassmen?
Alex Weeman's returning starter. He's doesn't matter where you put him on. He's going to be one of those players. You can put him at forward. You can put him at a true forward, outside forward. You know, tacky midfielder. And last year he actually played outside D for me. He was one of my main defenders, but you know, going through the summer, his club coach started putting him in the center mid because he seems to be a little more down to earth. Keeps him into the game. His mind doesn't wander. Trying to think here, we got Cody Jeppinson. He is one of the hardest working guys on the team. You know, he's a tall kid. He's had some issues. He broke his toes this winter, so he's been dealing with foot problems. But he is very good with the ball. He's not the quickest player, but he's very deceptive with his speed. He can shoot. Dylan Gilk's a returner. He's solid at midfield. Trying to think. Jake Keebockel, he didn't play a lot of minutes for me. He had some thigh issues and some knee issues, but I think he's gonna be something to reckon with this year because he's short, stocky, and fast. He can shoot, so he's a really good true forward. Just trying to think, a lot of the players coming up this year actually were on the JV. I mean, we lost a lot of players last year, so it's going to be kind of new for me because I got some returners, but I got to stick them in with some players that haven't coached for a few years. So,
well, you know, as long as you can get them organized defensively and they're playing hard, you know, you're going to be in every game anyway.
Yeah, we're going to try and play a new formation this year, and try and. Keep the ball out of our side of our end of the field. We didn't give up a lot of goals last year, really. Usually, traditionally in Brookings, we give up a lot of goals. I mean, everybody knows it. But I think for the last 2 years, our stats have been a lot better. We've been scoring more goals. So now I'd like to score the goals and keep the ball in my net. You know, I mean, going down 1-0 2 years in a row at Aberdeen kind of. It's a chip on my shoulder right now, and it bites me in the butt sometimes. So
are you speaking of that? Are they going to be on your schedule this year again?
I think Aberdeen is on our schedule. I think I got to go up there again. Realistically, I've only looked at the schedule twice since they've had it out because you know the last few years it's changed here, changed there, changed there. So I never look at it until my very first game, and then I really study it. But I know we got Lincoln again this year. We didn't play them last year. The last 2 years we played them tough before that. So I'm hoping, you know, that's always a good team. He coaches well down there. And I'm trying to think, we got to go out to Rapid and play Stevens right away, play Spearfish right away. That's tough travel. You know how that goes. So, I mean, we got a tough schedule.
Well, I think, you know, you look at about every team's schedule this year, and every year it just seems like it just gets tougher and tougher. And, you know, and actually Brookings is part of that. You know, you guys have earned a lot of respect the last couple of years.
Yeah, my boys have been working hard outside of soccer. You know, our fitness has gotten better, and I think our overall team speed, you know, in the past, Brookings has been kind of a slower team. You know, when we were single A, Jason Parker was coaching here. He was blessed with a lot of good players, a lot of speed. Then after that, the speed kind of dwindled out to just single players. This year's team, my overall team speed, I'm not slow in any position. It's just getting these kids to play together, I think, is the tough thing because it's going to, you know, 3/4 of my team or half my team is new to playing varsity, and that speed between JV and varsity is tough to be acclimated to right away.
It's not only the speed, but the size and the physicality of the games are way, way different too.
Yeah, we're not small by any means, but we got a lot of tall, skinny players. We don't have a lot of meat. I like having, growing up in the 90s and playing, I had a lot of stocky kids on my team. Nowadays it seems like, especially here in the Midwest, there's a lot of, bean poles, and but they're fast and they're tough to guard. But like when you go down and you play like Spearfish, those guys are fast every single year. I don't know what he does out there, the kind of corn they're eating or something, but it's tough to play those guys. I'm hoping that we just come out tough. And I think if we can get maybe a win and a tie in our first 2 games, I'm hoping it'll kind of push me along,
Well, we'll be watching your progress, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you later on as the season goes on. So thanks again for spending some time with us today, and best of success through the season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love talking to you, Randy. Thank you.